Hi, I'm Caroline Dowd-Higgins, and welcome to a brand new episode of Thrive. Today I'll be chatting with best friends Alisa Wright and Jean Scallon. So the fact that they're best friends is incredible, but they're also C-suite executive women in important leadership roles. Check it out, they've got some great wisdom to share. Welcome, ladies. I'm really excited that you're here today. And you know that I invited you to be here because you are extraordinary women in your own right, but you're also dear friends. And I think it's wonderful to hear about this journey that you're embarking on individually and together, and you've really got each other's back. Alisa, let's start with you. You are the founder of Bioconvergence, and you taught me something new today. You are the WIT, the whatever it takes officer as well. Tell me a little bit about the company.
We're located here in Bloomington, Indiana. We're 10 years old this year.
10 years, wow.
So we're really excited about that. And we help pharmaceutical and biotech and medical device companies develop new products in the R&D part of the pipeline so that then they can be tested in clinical trials, because there are a lot of diseases that have no treatments. Yeah. And even ones that don't necessarily have the best treatments yet. So we need to keep working.
And 10-year anniversary, so yes. Major milestone.
Yes.
That's extraordinary. Congratulations.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, it's gone by fast. It really has. Well done. Jean, CEO of Bloomington Meadows Hospital. Tell us about that.
So Bloomington Meadows Hospital is a freestanding psychiatric hospital, and mainly what we treat are children and adolescents. We do have a very small adult population, but what we've noticed over probably the past 2 years is just the great need, the great focus on mental health, and even in the past year here in Bloomington, Indiana, we have turned away right around 600 to 800 individuals who need care and treatment.
Wow.
So we know what we're doing is making a difference,
yeah.
But we need more of it.
Well, and I'm hearing that both of you are really passionate about making a difference and helping others. So you have to go home at night thinking, I did something good today.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit. You know me as a career coach, and Jean and I go way back. I believe in playing to your strengths in your career, and both of you exude that strength and self-confidence. So Jean, what's your superpower? What's your strength in your CEO role?
So I think there's a couple of things. One of it is just that ability to connect people, but the other is just that also keeping a good sense of humor and a good attitude, that you wake up and you love what you do every day. I think that takes a lot of power.
It does, and a lot of energy.
Oh yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Alisa, I need the audience to know too, you came from industry. So you came from large companies that had been around for many, many years, and you launched your own business. Big risk, tremendous reward, but that was a leap of faith. So tell me about that process.
Well, it wasn't the first company I started, so I had practice.
Okay.
And if you're going to start your own company, they always say it's good to be a small owner in another company and try it on.
Yeah.
Because it's not for everybody. Right. I mean, I wish it was, but it's not for everybody. So I did that after leaving Lilly in 1996. And it was a eye-opener when you have to do everything.
Right.
Because a large company has lots of resources, and there's somebody from IT that comes and fixes your computer.
Someone that puts paper in the copy machine.
And then in a small company, it's like, well, learn to fix your own computer and know how to fix that printer over there too. And
so that's whatever it takes.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tell me about fear. Have either of you ever been stopped in your tracks by that career fear of, can I do this?
I think yes.
Okay, thanks for being honest.
I think that that comes up, the fear comes up, but I don't know that it's necessarily ever stopped me.
Yeah.
I did have a mentor that said, make a decision. And if it's the wrong decision, then you need to make it a lot quicker than that other one you made.
That's a great bit of advice.
And
then make another decision.
And then make another decision, but keep making those decisions and don't let fear get in the way.
A mentor of mine once said, if you're not a little bit afraid to do it, it's not worth doing.
Exactly.
And I think there's some truth in that. Yeah. So here's the $1 million question. Alisa, I'll start with you. How do you define success? And has that changed in your life over time?
I define success as loving people and loving life and finding out what your purpose is, and then and your dreams. I mean, a lot of people don't seem to dream, or they don't think that their dreams are good enough to come true. So don't just dream them, go do them. It's not a dress rehearsal.
Right.
Going back to
Oh, that's great. That's great. That works for me. I love it. It's
this
so
is
true.
Real life. Be the real you. There's this nurse that I had heard about, who was a terminal care nurse, she said people in their last weeks of life, the thing that they regret most is that they didn't dare to be themselves. They tried to live up to everybody else's expectations for them instead of charting who they were, trying it out. Who cares if you fail, if you fail trying to do something that's really good from the right motives and the right intention.
That's awesome. Yay, that makes me so
love
happy. So you're both leaders. You're in these pinnacle roles that have such tremendous responsibility, but you also believe in paying it forward to the next generation. And I think we're all of like minds that we're passionate about empowering young women and young girls on their journey. So what do you want the next generation to know?
I think it's important to have a good sense of humor, to be humble, to expect to fail, but as soon as you do, to pick those pieces all back up again and keep trudging on.
Be resilient.
Be resilient and raise your hand. You know, if you don't understand something or don't know something or you're troubled by something, to raise your hand and ask.
I love it. I love it. Alisa, you are particularly passionate about STEM careers, and that acronym, as our audience may know, is science, technology, engineering, and math, and you're a champion for that. So what do you want our young STEM girls? You're a STEM geek, and I celebrate that. That's great. Only your best friend can say you're a STEM geek.
You did well. I love science and all of those things. I just love figuring out why things are the way they are and why they work. I was a why child, and I think that a lot of people are like that, but as research shows that by third grade we sort of work that out of kids. They have a natural curiosity, and then we tell them that somebody has all the answers. Maybe they exist on the internet. So anyway,
it's a different world.
It is a different world, and so especially for women in STEM careers, there's research that has been done that says girls make decisions so much faster in life than boys do. They usually wait till they're 8th grade or freshmen to start ruling careers out. Girls start ruling out what they're not going to be by, I think, 5th grade is what the research shows. So, and by 5th grade, not many of them have had great science experiences. They may not know somebody's in science, know somebody who has a career in science. So they rule out something before they've ever had a chance to find out if it fits for them.
Wow, I had no idea how early they start ruling things out. Have you had people that have inspired you along your career paths, both of you, maybe mentors or just people that helped you get to where you are?
You know, I think for me it's been really probably my mom and my dad.
Nice.
And I think just in a way that was supportive, that said, you know, really you can be whatever you want to be. You can go down that path, and we're going to be here to support you, and when you fall, we're going to pick you up. I don't know that there was a lot of mentors out there, individuals out there, as I was kind of going through my career. And I think if there would have been, I probably would have been in a CEO seat a lot sooner. And so that's motivating for me, is to say, you know what, I want to be out there a lot sooner.
And you've done that. You are truly helping the next generation in your teaching and your mentoring. And also, I've had the great privilege of watching you groom your colleagues and your staff. Is that something that you've had experience with, Alisa, in your company? Do you feel like you can groom some people in the organization?
I think it's critical. You don't grow. You don't grow as an organization, and you don't grow as an individual unless you've sort of got 3 relationships in your life. The person who is before you in the journey to coach you, the person who is a peer with you in the journeys, and then there's the person that you're turning around and paying it forward so that they can excel in their career or whatever they want to do in life. It's about investing in other people. It's investing your time. And
beautifully put. I like it. Okay, let's get to girl talk.
Okay.
We have said, here we go. We have said that it is a roller coaster ride as successful, busy, intense career women that we all are. We love what we do, but we know it can be stressful. So what do you do to right the crazy that happens a lot? And we all believe, okay, work-life balance is a phrase that none of us agree upon, right? But work-life integration, how do we actually make this thing happen called life and career? Any thoughts?
I think it's, you know, one of the things that we actually started to do recently was, before the holidays, was just you have to do something to take care of yourself. So we decided to try yoga.
Oh, how'd that go?
It's good. You know, yoga is, wonderful because what a great way to stretch and get exercises, and people are telling you, oh, you can just lay here, and they're giving you positive reinforcement and breathe.
There's gentle music. It's good stuff.
Know, how could yoga be bad? So I think that's one of the things that we found is that there was no judgment.
And that's nice. And you do it together, so that's fun too. That's fun too. Any other thoughts, Alisa? Anything that you love? What's your secret weapon?
Well, I think it's great that, I mean, and this is good that Jean's here, is because I think it's important to have your group of friends that you just go, I mean, we get together and have dinner and we just laugh and laugh and laugh, and then we laugh some more. And then I think if you don't have time to do anything, one of my stress relievers is chocolate. I mean, anything chocolate.
There you go. When in doubt.
When in doubt, chocolate seems to solve everything.
We send comics back and forth.
Oh, we do?
Text comics back and forth to
great.
each other. Those ones
great.
that we know if we're stressed about something or there's something going on in our lives, we'll get these really some appropriate and some not so appropriate clips that end up going back and forth.
Well, I'm so thrilled. The energy between the two of you is palpable, and you're giving so many listeners permission to say, you know my mantra, enjoy your career, live your life. That's what it's all about, because it goes by fast. So let's talk about success. For so many years, decades in our country, men have defined success, pardon me, we'll edit that out, or maybe not.
Or maybe not. Valentine's Day.
Right, so they've defined success by money and power. And those are fine, no judgment. Some people resonate with those values, but there's so much more. So how do you each define success? And I'm sure it may be different between the two of you. Any thoughts about how you would define success?
I think it's what she said about that ability to give back. So the more that you're given, the more that you have that ability to give back. So it is sitting on those boards. It is charitable giving. It is, and it might be something as simple as, driving through Starbucks and paying for the person behind you.
Random act of kindness.
But that ability to know that that you can do that because of all of the giving that's been given to you. I think that's really powerful.
And I think that it all goes back to a simple farming principle. I'm a farm girl, and it's, you reap what you sow, and so sow what you want to receive. And the other thing I've learned recently in life is that be careful where you sow it, because you want to sow it on fertile ground where it's going to amount, or your investment doesn't end up in apples or whatever seed you were sowing.
Right. Beautifully put. So, Alisa and Jean, give me your secret sauce and your wisdom about women leaders. How did you become the great women leaders that you are today?
I think some of that is just having a good support system, at least for me. And then really, I think some of those leadership styles that you build on is you just don't want to be like all of those other leaders sometimes that you worked for before. So really having that emotional intelligence, being humble, and being real. And I think you even mentioned, about being authentic. It's truly
being true to yourself.
And it invites people to want to be around you.
I think that's true. That's true, and people want to be around you. I've seen it. Alisa, how about you?
And I think it is about being true to yourself. And you don't have to be a leader in something just because somebody else was, a parent took a certain tack through life. But really figure out what it is that you love to do, whatever you're passionate about, or it could be what breaks your heart. That's what you're supposed to be doing in life, because it speaks to you. I mean, it tugs at your heart. And whatever tugs at your heart, you're probably going to really try hard.
You just gave millions of women permission to do what's important to them. Thank you. That was great. Okay, the ever elusive work-life integration. What's one thing that you do to honor yourselves? And it might be together, because I know you're a dynamic duo and you do a lot of great things together, which is part of how you thrive.
Martinis.
Mudslides, right?
Mudslides. We have a great salon that we go to. She lets us in after hours, and it's just the two of us and her, and we get that time to just connect and laugh.
Connect and beautify.
And
life
beautify
is good.
And get our, we don't let Melissa have anything that we're having.
If she's cutting her
she's
hair,
doing her hair.
she's got to stick with water.
But I think that's just like this really nice,
Yeah.
and sometimes very impromptu connection that we can have.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So, Jean and Alisa, you both give back so much in your community, and you really take a responsibility in grooming the next generation, especially of young girls who are becoming our young women. So what's your bit of advice to them? You know, maybe they're going to listen to this video and say, I want to be a CEO one day. I want to be a business owner one day. What would you tell them?
I would tell them to go try it out, shadow, go talk to someone that has that career or works in that field that you want to work in, because there's nothing like getting it from a source that who's been there and done that. And then I think the other thing is, don't compare yourself to others. Figure out what it is that you want to do, and then go try to do it. I mean, that's the best way to live life.
Good stuff.
I agree.
Stay in your own lane, right?
Stay in your own. That's a great way to put it. Stay in your own.
Yeah, excellent.
I agree. I mean, I think some of it too is, so I get the privilege of being able to teach at the university. And so sometimes it's just encouraging. Even the last part of the class is telling the class you have 3 questions to ask, to get people to raise their hand. People just don't raise their hand, and especially women don't raise their hand to say, hey, you know, I'm here and I have something to offer, and I think that's really important.
Be seen, be heard.
Be seen and be heard.
Awesome. So both of you really understand the power of resilience and this concept of if you fail the first time, pick yourself up and start again. Talk to me about resilience. What does that mean to you, Lisa?
I think, going on your last question about advice to younger women, is I think it's important to try things and not always be out there on something you know you can do. You need to go out of your comfort zone, because that's when you grow. That's when you learn what you're capable of. If you keep doing what you've always done and you know you're good at, you never learn what you could do. So I think challenges stretch us, and they teach us what we like and what we don't like. So when you aren't being challenged, you're not learning more about yourself.
And that's half the battle, figuring out what you don't like. And that's okay. You have a resilience story for us, Jean?
Well, I mean, I think just some of the resiliency, she and I talk a lot about this, because just from personal experience. And so there's been, we talk a lot about just where we've come from, and maybe there has been some struggles, and you know, how did we get through that? At the end of the day, we have a lot of conversations about how did we survive? And I think it is, you know, and how do you teach that to other people? We would be absolute billionaires and be able to give back even that much more if we could teach resiliency. And I don't know what the secret sauce is.
I think that it's being able to fail in public and help other people know, okay, this didn't work, but I'm back in the game. And you two have been so authentic about that. And you've said, sure, I've made failures or made mistakes. And you've learned from each and every one of them. So that's a gift. That's a gift. So cheers to you. That's a gift. Awesome. Jean and Alisa, what I think is so wonderful about the two of you, you're these extraordinary women leaders, but you're best friends. And it's really, it's just palpable to feel that energy. I know that you've got each other's backs, you keep it real, and you're going to call each other out when you need help. How important has that been in your life, and also your career, to have that woman that you can really depend on?
I think it's critically important in both life and in the career, because there aren't a lot of women leaders at the level that we're at in the life sciences field. There's probably more than other fields, but still not enough. So it's good to have somebody that you can go to and say, you know, I'm sort of like struggling with this particular area. Have you been here before? Because we're not men, so we're not going to do it like men did it. I mean, not that men don't have good ideas, but you know, it's not going to fit. And that's okay. So I think that's been invaluable. And then it's just so much fun to be around Jean.
I can tell.
She's just a laugh. I mean, we laugh and we have so much fun, and I mean, it just does your heart. And we shop, and I have a great shoe collection now because of Jean.
I always say you don't need medication when there's shoes.
I hear you.
And the shopping, I mean, I think that's the other, is that it's, you know, hey, I just found this great buy or this great bargain, or I'll be in DSW and I've had a stressful day and I'm taking pictures of my my purchases and I'm sending them her way, and she's taking pictures of hers from another time and sending them away.
And life is better.
And life is better. Or when we're on vacation and, you know, we're in different places, but there's, you know, here's where my feet are at, and I'm sending her, well, here's where my feet, and then her sister will send them, and my sister, and all of a sudden we have all these feet that are in Lisa, Gerald's, her feet were at her hiking, yeah.
Life is better with good shoes.
Amen.
Good and they're
stuff.
great medicine.
You know what has occurred to me too, though? Business used to be conducted on the golf course. Now, I don't golf. I drive a mean golf cart. But isn't it interesting how women are conducting business and living our lives and working through problems, perhaps at the shoe store, and that's okay.
Right.
So it's just a new ground where we can communicate. So thank you. Let's do it at DSW. Let's call them for a corporate sponsorship. Bring it on, DSW.
Well, or just calling each other and saying, you know what, it's been a really rough day. Let's go do yoga, and then let's go have a cocktail, and let's just sort it out, but not hold on to it. You know, and I think that's so important. I think that's one of the things that we've been able to do really well, is that we can have just awful days, but if we can just sit and laugh about it, and we can make fun of those individuals that, you know, maybe have made our lives miserable that day, and then just let it go.
Let it go.
And
Good
move
stuff.
on.
Excellent. In the spirit of Disney, let it go. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up. What's one thing you want a listener to know out there that will help them on their journey, especially when they're in that really difficult time, you know, where they're maybe self-doubting, or they're frustrated, or they're in that career rut and they're trying to break out of it? What's one tip that you'd share with a woman listening?
That it's important to have a good friend that's going to help you down that journey. That person that doesn't judge you, that you can say anything to, and that you can laugh with.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And I think
Good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd add to that it's important to have somebody who's very authentic.
Yeah.
And they really are fine with who they are. And not that anybody's anything but a work in progress. We're all trying to get in better. But I think it's important that they're very authentic, because they can't really help you if they're still, you know, living two lives or something like that.
They've got to be real.
They've got to be real.
Yeah.
And then you can believe what they say about you. And here's my opinion about leaders: is all leaders have limps. All good leaders have limps. There's been something that has caused them challenging times, and it helps so much when somebody's ahead of you in life, that's your friend, and they can, I guess, play it forward to you in the wisdom that they learned by going through it.
Beautifully put. Alisa Wright, Jean Scallon, you two rock. Thank you very much for being with me today. I'm so grateful.